The music industry is not what you think.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it is not what it seems. Popular music is also not what it seems. And if you're someone who has taken a more spiritual path in this life, you probably feel that when you listen to the music. Like you probably feel sick when you turn on the radio and listen to what Kiss FM. That's probably your station where you're at, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and there's a reason for that. And some of the frequencies that are in this music, they do lower your vibration and then keep you down. I'm not the only one to talk about it. I mean, even Kanye has talked about that. Like 808s mess up your frequency. And, the more that you're kind of opening yourself and your spirituality and taking, exploring that, you're going to feel that, you're going to see it. But I do think now more than ever, there is an opportunity for music that is more pop leaning to really to have those light codes and to
Mm-hmm.
like make it more mainstream. I mean, mainstream is so relative now, right? Because you can have like a hit online that is never on the radio or anything. But um, I think there are more conscious people who are, coming up in the music industry now. I think there is also more conscious people in the acting world as well that are trying to shift the industries and make them lighter and not so dark because
Mm-hmm.
it is very dark. I actually think the music industry is the darkest industry. Um, I mean, it's shocking. I think that in our lifetime, people will be more aware of everything.
Yeah.
And with the film industry, there was like the Me Too movement. There wasn't any of that in the music industry.
Mm-hmm.
There really hasn't been. But again, I think there is an opportunity for people like us to shift some of these things. And my music, when you listen to it, you could maybe think, oh, this is kind of like pop music because the top lines of the lyrics and melodies are more pop sounding. But, I'm very intentional with the energy that I'm putting into it, and again, I'm not the only one. There are tons of artists like me out there who are hoping to add a little more light into the industry.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure that people, I get asked this question, and I'm sure people are saying they're going to be like freaking out, like, oh my God, is the music I'm listening to? Like, how do I know if it's dark?
You'll know it by the way that it feels.
Yeah.
Like for me, I even remember being a little kid and listening to the radio and like getting headaches
Yeah.
and like feeling like kind of nauseous after listening to certain songs. I get like a really weird headache in the back of my head,
Hmm.
but like, or I'll start to instantly feel irritated and agitated.
Yeah.
Um, Shaman Durek taught me something where, because you know how you go out and it's like in parking lots, in grocery stores, wherever you go, there's music just blaring. And sometimes, you'll hear a song and like what the person's saying is programming your subconscious. Like if someone is,
Yeah.
singing about something really negative and really dark, um, that can get into your psyche and really like fuck with you. And again, like, look, if you're like really into 90s rap and that lights you up, then fuck yeah, like keep listening to it, right? That's you, but every person is different, right? So like you might love The Weeknd. I find his music really dark, so I don't listen. But again, it's different strokes for different folks and we're all made differently and that's what makes us so special is that we are all unique. But Shaman Durek taught me this thing where you tap on the like bottom of your skull, like right here, and you
Hmm.
just say cancel, cancel, cancel.
Mm.
And you tap when you hear like a song out where it's like
Yeah.
like a really dark lyric or something like that, and you're in the store, you don't want that to get in your subconscious. So that's like a little trick that you can do, and I do that sometimes.
Yeah. Well, what's the best way to like I mean, I'm wondering this for myself, and I'm sure the audience is like, what's the best way to support people who are putting out like conscious music? Like if you find somebody you're like, or like your music, like how can people actually like support? What's the best way to support, I guess?
I think, sharing music is like one of the best ways because it is, all these major label artists, they're paying for playlisting, they're paying for views, they're paying for all of that, which is so interesting that like people aren't aware of that,
Yeah.
like even if you are a famous artist, like these people are getting like millions and millions of streams really quickly. That some of that is because the record labels are running these big ads. They have this ad spend, or they're actually just buying some of the likes, some of the comments.
Mhm.
Um, so it is hard to get eyes on music sometimes. And I think, just people sharing in their stories, sharing with their friends, adding it to their playlists. That's huge. And if an artist is touring, that's also, a great way to support an artist is to go to their show or buy their merch, things like that. And I think it's important to kind of consider that, just like, what are we giving our time, money, and energy to? Like, is it making the world a better place, or is it kind of like the old system, right? It's
Yeah.
like, am I going to go, support McDonald's by giving them my money, or am I going to go like to the local, um, you know, vegan shop in Asheville? I mean, I am vegan, but like, so that's
Yeah.
kind of an extreme. But you get what I'm saying? It's like, I don't want to support McDonald's because they're corrupt and I don't like how they treat animals and they don't really do great things for the environment. Whereas like a local shop nearby, I want to support local business. I want to support
Yeah.
people who have you know, aligned mission on earth.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's one of the big positives of everything that's like come out in the last few years. It's
Oh yeah.
like really being conscious over just choosing what's convenient, and like really realizing,
Yeah.
oh, I didn't realize that um that I was supporting this,
Yeah.
unintentionally. Or like the music thing is a simple thing, but it's like you just turn on the radio and we're not even like thinking about how is this affecting my vibration or my thoughts. And I know for me, um I had really, really intense depression for a long time. And it became very clear to me through that journey of healing that, like, how much the music I was listening to was contributing to it. And to
Oh
this
my God.
day,
Yes.
like, I've had a lot of clients who come in with like really intense depression. They're working with different psychiatrists and different therapies, and they're coming in for the energy work. And it's a whole other rant of my view on anxiety and depression is just very different because I see it all energetic. But
Mhm.
like for most of those people, music is involved.
Yes. I mean, it programs you. It
Yeah.
instantly shifts your vibration. Music is the most powerful healer
Hmm.
in the world to me. Um, but it's like, the truth by the way that it feels,
Yeah.
right? So like, if mu if you're listening to music and you're feeling like understood, you're feeling lit up, you're feeling like I'm not alone, someone else gets this, if it genuinely like makes you happy to hear the song regardless of whatever state you're in, then that's good for you. But if you're listening to songs and you're noticing like, wow, I feel really down, like I don't
Hmm.
feel good, and you can tell when it's like a product of what you're listening to. Like I remember there was this artist, I won't throw her under the bus, but I was having a day where I was listening to this artist's album and I was driving around and I was like, I feel so bad.
Yeah.
Like life is really shitty. I'm not happy. And I was like getting in my head and feeling really depressed. And all of a sudden it was like I snapped out of it and I was like, oh my God, have I been listening to this person all day? And I switched her off and put on another record. And instantly I didn't feel that way. But
Hmm.
it was weird to be tapping into that energy, right? And
Yeah.
for some people, they may listen to that artist and be like, she got me through hard times and I love her. And that's okay. It's
Yeah.
like what works for me isn't going to work for someone else and vice versa. And it's really up to us to like, decide. But I am very conscious of like, I think there's a lot of music that's kind of circulating now that's really like
Yeah.
sad girl stuff, but it's
Yeah.
like really depressing, shocking lyrics to me about like
Yeah.
not wanting to live and stuff like that. And, on one hand, it's like an artist needs to express themselves. And if they're in that space, then like they should feel free to say that. But then on the
Hmm.
other hand, I'm like, what is that doing to people who are listening to it? Right.